I think my story surprises people because when I was in the Saturdays, we were at the height of our career, and I was so good at hiding how I really felt. So I suppose I probably came across as confident and bubbly and outgoing, and that kind of wasn't the case always. So I think that is a surprise for people, and I think it's hard for people to understand sometimes that sometimes someone's life looks perfect, you know, in a successful pop group, married to a footballer, you know, everyone presumes you're rich and living this amazing life, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't suffer from mental illness. Although I still suffer with depression and anxiety, I'm definitely out the other side where I can look back and reflect on the past and my breakdown, and I kind of know what works for me now to kind of keep me up, and when I'm having my bad days, how to deal with that. So I had a mental breakdown when I was about 23, and I think that was a combination of things. I think I'd been ignoring the fact that I was feeling down and anxious a lot, and kept it hidden. And I think it's so unhealthy when you're pushing feelings down and ignoring them. And also I went through a breakup, which was stressful, and also I was just so busy with the girls in the Saturdays. I was tired, and I just reached breaking point, and that just for me felt like I couldn't deal with everyday life. So I was crying all the time. I was exhausted from pretending to be okay, and I felt so many feelings, but I also felt numb at the same time. It's really hard to explain, and I just felt like I couldn't really cope with life anymore, and it would be better for me and everyone else if I wasn't here. And that's kind of the point I'd reached before I got into hospital, and going into hospital was probably the best thing I ever did, and was just such a relief, because I felt like I could hand over the responsibility of my life to someone else. My husband Wayne was a real pinnacle part of me getting through my breakdown, because he stuck by me at a time when he could have easily have walked away, and he made me feel like maybe I was worth loving and being there for, which at the time I didn't really believe. And he helped me through the whole thing and tried to understand as much as he could. I was on medication, which I always openly talk about, because I feel like people seem to be ashamed of that. And I had so much therapy, so kind of like no stone was left unturned. I think Wayne and mine's relationship definitely benefits from the fact that he was there for me right at my breaking point, and like I said, when he could have easily left. And I think the fact that he's taken the time and made the effort to really understand my illness, and he knows how to deal with me now. He knows that I'm not asking him to fix something if I'm feeling rubbish that day. I just want someone to be there and to understand and to just help me through that day, and he's really good at that. I always think it's the most obvious advice to give people, but talking about it really does make a difference. Whether that's starting online with people you don't really know, or one friend or a family member. Obviously a GP or therapist would be amazing, but not everyone has access to that. So speaking out about it, I know it sounds weird, but embracing your feelings, because I think for me, I spent so many years pushing mine down and pushing them aside and ignoring them, that then I let that get out of control. Whereas now I've learned that if I just give in to them, it passes a lot quicker. Try to be active as much as possible, and that doesn't necessarily mean going and killing yourself in the gym or a class. That can be going out for a walk at the weekend, walking instead of getting a taxi, you know, those kind of things, little easy things that I think in a day where you could spend the whole day sitting around, it's just making that effort to just get moving. Also, I think just know what makes you happy, try and figure that out, and that can be the smallest thing, like finding a hobby you really like, or even if it's something like you love staying in and watching a movie, and you might think, oh, everyone else seems to love going out and drinking or whatever, but that's not your thing. Just embrace that and try to just stick to what you know makes you happy.